Doc Martin here for the Zero Channel. Now, this is an adult subject. I don't know if it is an adult subject, but we're putting it over there at the adult channel at KRAZ TV. The story of Russia. Orlando Figs, butchering names. The story of Russia. So I don't guess it has any more, yeah. It's by Metropolitan Books, Henry Holt and Company, New York. Orlando Figs is author of many acclaimed books on Russian history, including A People's Tragedy, Natasha's Dance, The Whispers, The Crimean War, Revolutionary Russia, and The Europeans, Three Lives in the Making of a Cosmopolitan Culture. His books have been translated into more than 30 languages, and he has won the Wolfson History Prize. Among others, he is a professor of history at Birkbeck University of London. Wow. This is I'd almost say it was a seminal work, because he's really done his homework, and here's an expert writing about it. From the greatest storyteller of Russian history, a brilliant account of the national mythologies and imperial ideologies that have shaped Russia's past and politics. Essential reading for understanding the country today. Well, that sure is true. The story of Russia is a fresh approach to the thousands of years of Russia's history, concerned as much with the ideas that have shaped how Russians think about their past as it is with the events and personalities composing it. No other country has reimagined its own story so often in a perpetual effort to stay in step with the shifts of ruling ideologies. So it's really about Russia for Russians, and they don't want to be like anybody else. They say they just don't. They don't want to be Americanized. They are Russians through and through. From the founding of Kievan Rus, that was the early name, in the first millennium, to Putin's war against Ukraine, Orlando Figs explores the ideas that have guided Russia's actions throughout its long and troubled existence. Whether he's describing the crowning of Ivan the Terrible in a candlelit cathedral or the dramatic upheaval of the peasant revolution, he reveals the impulses often unappreciated or misunderstood by foreigners that have driven Russian history. The medieval myth of Mother Russia's holy mission to the world, imperial tendency towards autocratic rule, the popular belief in a paternal czar dispensing truth and justice, the cult of sacrifice rooted in the idea of the Russian soul, and always the nationalist myth of Russia's unjust treatment by the West. How the Russians came to tell their story and to rise up so often as they went along is not only a vital aspect of their history, it is also our best means of understanding how the country thinks and acts today, based on a lifetime of scholarship and enthrallingly written. The story of Russia is a quintessential Figs, sweeping, revelatory, and masterful. Well, it sure is. So, you have little maps in here. There are some maps. It's a huge thing. I understand that Russia has 11 time zones. So, it's an amazing story from Vladivostok all the way to... There's a little piece here by Estonia. Now, Russia in the Curtain days and other days had taken over a lot of all of these territories that are now back, well, as free states like Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. But there's also these other independent states now here, Belarus, Georgia, Ukraine, and some of these other breakaway states, Azerbaijan, and all of these. But at one time, that was called the United Soviets, or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, SSR, USSR. So it just talks about its early origin. Now, the Tartars first came through there about when they were trying to get ready, or nomadic tribes in the far west, the the Finns and the cold country people up that way. But the Tartars ran all the way from Mongolia, all the way down to Afghanistan, across the steppes, and really did a number on holding and keeping, and they're called khanates, the khanates. And later it shows there's plates in here. There's a lot of religious figures. They talk about the Russians first meeting the Vikings, and it was the founder of the European state of Rus, Ukraine. So, onion-skinned domes, really lovely. Here, the Church of St. Sophia, Kiev, built in the reign of Grand Prince Yaroslav, 1019. So they've been around a long time. Christianity really pushed its tentacles out. This is the altar of icons. They say when they pray with the icons, they look up at the icons. They don't pray with their eyes closed, which is interesting in this story here. So this is the Solovetsky Monastery. It's found on an island in 1463. It was converted to a prison. So this little picture here is inside the Kremlin, and it's a picture of the Dormition Cathedral, a house of facets. They were built by Italian architects in the late 15th century, but were later Russified. The host of the Heavenly Tsar shows him the conquest of Kazan by Ivan the Terrible. Known as the Church Militant, it's 4 meters in length, so he's following the Archangel in a procession of Russian troops from the hell-like burning city of Kazan to Moscow. But Petrograd, Leningrad, some of those other places were. This is a picture of the fight between Ermak's conquest of Siberia. They were too strong for the Tartars, so they used guns. But this was the end of the Tartar holdouts and strongholds in the north and all of that. So it's amazing. There is Vladimir Putin himself in today. So the gamut runs, and the eyes on Ivan the Terrible. He's a stern ruler. Probably Vladimir is too. Wow, they talk about Peter the First, the Great. He was almost 7 foot tall. One of the early czars. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. They have a little. I painted 1766. It was a popular satire on foreign manners of the deceased Tsar Peter, and it was called "The Mice Are Burying the Cat." So there's Catherine the Great, one of the great women of history. She was during the Age of Reason, and she had a lot of French philosophers come, Diderot and Rousseau and all those. She had daily correspondence and all that. Here's children. I said, look, notice their bare feet in the mud. Oh, that would be cool. There's Mother Russia. She is a 1941 Mother Russia calls. The mother shows a military oath and calls on Russia's son to defend her from the enemy. Probably their biggest tragedy was World War II. What they really had, though, was Stalin. Everybody still loves, a lot of people still love Stalin, but he did some real house cleaning. He did some horrendous things. They built the gulags up north and all of that. So there's Stalin. Oh boy, the Nazis coming in and all of that, and into Ukraine and all. It's just amazing. They have Lake Macallan here. So it's an amazing, great story. It goes to the war on old Russia. Let's see some of the chapters in there. It's by the press. Let's see, did I mention the press already? Oh yeah, Metropolitan Books. It is Origins, the Mongol Impact, that was the Tartar. Tsar and God, Times of Trouble. Now, they had to fight the Ottomans quite a bit, too. Russia faced west, the shadow of Napoleon. You see, you heard that Napoleon tried to take over and conquer, and he got his butt kicked, so there he had to leave. He lost a lot of people. An empire in crisis, revolutionary Russia, the war on old Russia, motherland. So, great book from the Tucson Pima County Public Library. It's a brand new book, and you can get it also. So, The Story of Russia by Orlando Figs. I'm butchering now. I'm so bad. I wonder if he's Russian too, but I don't know. It doesn't say. But he's an expert. Read the book. Story of Russia. Thanks. Goodbye. KRZTV.